I'll let you know that Tosha Hoefert is with us. She is the elementary science coordinator in Denton ISD, which is in Denton, Texas. With over 20 years in education, Tosha has an extensive background in curriculum design and providing professional development to teachers and administrators. She is particularly accomplished in the STEM design process and is passionate about elementary math and science. During her career, Tosha has served as a teacher, a curriculum writer, a math interventionist, a district math coach, and is now the district elementary science coordinator. Tosha possesses a master's degree in educational leadership and develops priorities that drive the production of district-wide initiatives. Please help me welcome Tosha as she guides us through building a growth mindset in STEM. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I'm so excited to be here with you today to talk about my favorite subject, which is STEM. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay, now can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So I'm so excited to join you all today to talk about my favorite subject, which is STEM. And I wanted to say, next time, can I be first and not after Jennifer and Kevin, who were amazing? And that's a joke, by the way. So Jennifer, I just have to give a shout out to, she's the one that taught me how to be a coordinator. I worked with her in Irving ISD for 4 years when I began my role as a coordinator, and truly was a mentor. I always thought, what would Jennifer say? What would Jennifer do? And I'd run down to Jennifer's office, and she was a great help whenever I was learning that role. And then Kevin's my new math buddy. I love his books, and those productive struggle bucks is such a great idea. So I have been with you all this morning, and I've been learning with you all as well. So now we're going to jump in and talk about my favorite subject with STEM. With my background in mathematics and then my current role in science, I'm sure that you can see why I'm a huge advocate for STEM. And I think there's a natural connection between STEM and the growth mindset. And I wanted to talk to you more about that today. So I'm going to share with you 5 ways. Sorry, I'm going to share with you 5 ways to build a growth mindset. And we're going to take a close look at each one of these. And so by the end, I would love for you to be able to tell me your next steps and which one of these would be a next step goal for you as either a teacher, an instructional leader, whatever your current role is. So we're going to go one by one, and we're going to start with encouraging flexible thinking. So if we want to build that growth mindset with STEM, then we need to encourage flexible thinking in our classrooms and in our schools. So let's think about STEM tools. And with our STEM tools, if you have one if a student has access to one STEM tool, then they're going to think in one way. But if we give them access to many different types of STEM tools, then they are thinking in different ways. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Hold on. I'm not sure what happened. So whenever we give students access to different types of STEM tools, it provides that flexible thinking, and it forces them to think in different ways. You wanted to see this one more time, I know you did. Okay, hopefully it will cooperate with me. So whenever we have different types of STEM tools, then students can think flexibly in many different ways. I promise this hasn't, I'm not there, sorry. I'm not sure what's happening. I think my internet is acting slow. So whenever they think in different ways, then they're able to approach problems differently. So then they have that choice and that voice. So they're able to choose which STEM tool is the best way to solve the problem that they are given. Now, not all STEM tools are costly. Some favorite tools is just plastic cup, cotton balls, toilet paper rolls, toothpicks. Those are some favorite STEM tools, so they don't all have to cost money, but it's important for them to have that access to the different tools. So let's say we ask a student to build a bridge and they build it in one way with one STEM tool. Then we can ask them, can you choose a different STEM tool and build the bridge in a different way? And then that's that flexible thinking. It helps them to stretch their brain and their brain grows. And you can ask, well, looking at your two bridges, what's the same and what's different? And that encourages that productive struggle. Okay, so now I want you to think about your own classroom, your own school, and think about what's a favorite STEM tool that either you have or teachers have. Maybe if you're an administrator, think about a STEM tool that you see often used in classrooms. And we're going to do what Jennifer did, which is a waterfall chat. And so don't press enter yet, but you're going to type in your favorite STEM tool. And then you're going to, when I say go, you're going to press enter, and we're going to see everybody's favorite STEM tools. Okay, so this is going to be a lot of fun. So go ahead and type in your favorite STEM tool. And ready, set, go. I can't wait to see what you list as those favorites. Yes, yes, yes. Pipe cleaners. Yes, anything, magnets. By the way, I see several Denton folks here. I'm so happy that you joined us. That's awesome. Sticks, pipe cleaners, magnets. Yes, thank you so much. Those are all STEM tools that are so valuable. So these might be some STEM tools that you have available. Maybe you have 3D wooden blocks. Maybe you have foam blocks. Robots are a great way to allow that flexible thinking because students get to choose how they want to code their robot to get from A to B. And if you haven't seen the Hand in Mind STEM bins, they are a teacher favorite. They are organized. They come with pretty labels, task cards ready to use. And so some of the tools that are available in the STEM bins are place value blocks, dominoes, pattern blocks, pipe cleaners, some of those favorites that you listed. It's just a great way to organize them and then they're ready to use. So these might be some of the STEM tools that you have available in your school and that you've seen. If not, or you're interested in any of these, Hand in Mind does have these tools available. Okay, so now I want to share with you an idea from our own district, Denton ISD. School leaders, if you're wanting to encourage that flexible thinking, then you want to make sure that teachers have those tools that are available. Looks like the lag time is slow. So let me tell you about the STEM square in Denton ISD, and you'll see a picture of it, hopefully fingers crossed in just a minute. I'm sorry that technology is not being my friend today. The STEM square is a place that we have just opened in 2022, and teachers can check out STEM tools to use in their classrooms. So here's a picture of teachers looking at the STEM square. And this STEM square is organized by tinkering tools, building tools, consumables, ready-made kits, and teachers can fill out an order form. You can see a picture of that on the left. And then they place that order and we send them the tools via intercampus mail for them to use in their classrooms. It's been a huge hit already. And then they just return the tools when they're ready, and then we can send them new tools. So this is just, I'm just throwing out a great idea that I feel like has been valuable in our district, but really the most important point is that if we are those instructional leaders and we want that flexible thinking that builds the growth mindset, then we want to make sure that the teachers have some tools available. So how does this connect to the growth mindset? Whenever we offer students those tools, a variety of tools, and they have that flexible thinking, then the students start to have the mindset and think, you know what? I like to try new things. Trying new things and solving new problems is fun. So that's the part that connects to the growth mindset. So the next way to build a growth mindset with STEM is to celebrate that productive struggle, which Kevin was talking to us about. So this goes great with what he talked to us about in the productive struggle. We know is important in any content area. I love that he focused on that in math, and we heard Jennifer focus on that for ELAR. And it's also important in STEM. I think the key word in this is the word celebrate. We want to celebrate that struggle because sometimes our students think that it's a bad thing if they make a mistake or they have to fix something. In fact, just this morning I was in a classroom and a little boy decided that he made a mistake, and he was so upset that when he was erasing it. So he didn't have that growth mindset available, that growth mindset yet to know that it's okay to make mistakes. And when we erase, you don't even have to erase it. You can just cross it off and write your new learning down, and that's okay. We want to celebrate that. They want to hear us talking about the value of that struggle. And showing the STEM design process is how we do that. So this is the Hand in Mind STEM design process that comes with many of their products. I know in our district, we have our own version of the STEM design process. And to me, the most valuable part of that STEM design process is the reflecting and the refining. So on this one, it's the green circle that says think and plan again. So they make that product, and then they test it, and then they reflect and refine, and we celebrate that in different ways. Another way to celebrate the struggle is by having students write. So it's that metacognitive thinking that we want them doing. We want them thinking about their thinking and writing about the thinking that took place during that STEM, so they can be jotting down their ideas, their team ideas. They can jot down their model and add labels. This is the Hand in Mind STEM journals, which I'm a huge fan of because, again, it makes it easy for teachers. They can pull these journals out. They don't have to make any copies. And then the students know the process on how to fill out these recording sheets. Good news to you, you get the copy of this recording sheet today. So thank you, Hand in Mind, for sharing that with everyone. My favorite part about this recording sheet is where it says put a star next to what you like best and put an X over anything that changes. It just shows that we expect that things are going to change. That's part of that design process and having that productive struggle. It's also important for us to make available STEM text sets for students where they're reading about how certain careers require that productive struggle. Think about architects and engineers. I love the book, 11 Experiments That Failed, right? Again, there's that productive struggle. And we want to make these types of books available for students. These are some of the ones that are available with Hand in Mind, but there's lots of different ones out there that kind of highlight that productive struggle. Okay, so whenever we celebrate that productive struggle, how does that help with the growth mindset? It helps because the students start to think, my mistakes help me grow. It's okay to make mistakes. So that's what happens when we celebrate that productive struggle, when we use that STEM engineering design before a STEM, during a STEM, and after a STEM. These two engineers do not understand the value of that productive struggle. So the one engineer says, well, it's all yours if it falls down. No. That's okay if it falls down. That just means we're going to refine and reflect and we're going to make it better. And that's what we want our students to understand. So are you ready for the next way to build a growth mindset with STEM? Here it is. Number 3 is promote tinkering. So tinkering is so important for our learners. Let's talk about the 3 stages of STEM, and then we can zoom into tinkering. So the 3 stages is tinkering, which is using stuff. So I can give a group of students maybe some Legos or some blocks, and I can ask the students, what do you notice? What do you wonder? How are you going to use these tools today? And they get to tinker and figure it out in their own way. They get that time, that unstructured time to explore. Making is when we give them a task and they're using stuff to make stuff. So maybe make a tree or make a bridge that works. And then engineering is when we're using stuff to change the world. So that might be creating a musical instrument, designing an elevator to lift a stuffed animal, making a airplane that holds the most cargo. So those real world problems. Each one of these has value. We don't want to stay at that tinkering stage forever, but that tinkering stage is so important because it's the heart of the invention. So now, by the way, this was from Boston Children's Museum, and I thought it was a great way to define each one of those stages. I hope that was helpful for you as well. So now let's kind of dig into tinkering and how that looks. Here's some examples that I've taken. If you follow me on @mathfanhoefert, and I can share that with you at the end as well. We have a hashtag STEM in Denton, and I'm always taking pictures of STEM happening in our classrooms to share on Twitter so teachers can learn from it. So these are 3 examples of tinkering, and it's students figuring out how things work. It's unstructured. It's that heart of invention, creativity, and it's important. So I would love to involve you now. I've done a lot of talking at you, so it's I want to hear from you. Can you tell me in the chat box, why do you think tinkering is important? And think about that growth mindset as well. Okay, I can't wait to see your responses. Thank you, Dixie. Fine motor skills, yes. A safe way for kids to explore and build, yes. Tinkering, creativity, exploration, great ideas. Productive struggle, matching back to that, good. Imagination, trial and error. Use their imagination, yes, absolutely. Experiment, oh, I love that, endless possibilities. That could be a quote from Robin. I'm gonna quote Robin. Escape from the boring classrooms. Awesome, thank you, Eric. Good. Creativity, absolutely. I'm so glad that you agree that it is important, especially for building that growth mindset, collaborating, engaging, open-ended. Yes. Thank you for that. Good job. So how does it connect back to that growth mindset? See what I'm doing? Every time we're going to talk about that. How does it connect to the growth mindset? What happens when we provide opportunities for students to tinker on a regular basis? Then the students start to think, you know what? I'm going to keep trying and I'm never going to give up. I love that. So are you ready for the next way to build a growth mindset? So we talked about tinkering, that's important. And then it's also important to offer challenges, again, for that making and the designing, and that goes along with the stages of STEM. So here's some examples of challenges that I've seen in classrooms that were some of my favorites. I love this one. It goes with those darn squirrels. Not sure if you have, oh, see, here the internet, it was doing so good. It was being so nice to me. Okay, sorry, let's back up. Again, I'm so sorry about that. You know how technology is. Okay, so the squirrel launcher. So I'm not sure if you know about those darn squirrels, but it's a hilarious book about a grouchy old man who loves birds. And so he builds these beautiful bird houses to feed the birds that he loves. Well, guess who else loves the birdhouse? the squirrels. So him and the squirrels kind of get the problem solving. And for this, you can see some first graders who design squirrel launchers to help out the squirrels. Super cute idea. Okay, here's some famous landmarks that we tried out in some pre-K classrooms. So on the left, the pre-K friends were building the Great Wall of China. Look how fun that is. They got to choose their tools. We had Kiva planks, 3D blocks, Magna tiles available, and they chose the landmark card and they got to build it. On the right is the Eiffel Tower. Look what a great job they did. Such creativity. Now, with our pre-K friends, we want that time for that where it's unstructured and they just tinker and they get to play with their own ideas while the teacher's walking around asking good questions. And then we want this more structured time where we give them a task to kind of stretch their thinking and allow that, again, that flexible thinking. Here's some first grade examples of how they used consumables from the STEM Makerspace cart to create parts of a plant and label it. What I love about this is look at the voice and choice. It was evident that they got to choose which consumables they wanted to use for each part of the plant. And in the end, they all look different. And I love that. I think that's worth celebrating. These pre-K friends got to choose which tools they wanted to use. And their task was to build a house for their favorite animal. So we have a happy pig on the left and we have a happy horse on the right. And it was so much fun for them to build the house, and then they used a different tool or they added to their house, thinking about what would be just right. Some of them had small animals and some had bigger animals, and they took that in consideration just like an architect would when they were constructing those houses. And I made sure that I told them that they were being great architects today and used that word to name what career that they were modeling and being. Don't forget about the robots and the coding. It's so important. This is the Hand-in-Mind Code and Go robot mouse. It comes with task cards so that you can offer that challenge and students can choose their coding so that their robot goes the correct path. It's an awesome way, a great to have those ready to go challenges for students. Okay, so now it's time for, oh, here we go again. Now it's time for the next. So we talked about the challenges, and the next part is asking good questions. So you know what? I'm going to kind of do some little STEM problem solving. I do not want you to have to watch me go through all that. And so I'm just going to skip right to where we are right now. And I wanted to share these Hand-in-Mind task cards that are ready to go for teachers to use and have those challenges. On the front, it gives the challenge such as design and build a set of swings. And then on the back, it gives a tip. And it gives a think bigger for your early finishers. So can you add a slide to your swing set? So these, if you buy a band of these task cards, it comes with a set of 36, except for the middle schoolers. Those are, I believe, 72 of those. So you can buy a K through second band or a 3 through 6 band, and the cards are ready to go for teachers, which is great. Okay, so let's connect it to that growth mindset. How does it connect to the growth mindset? Well, when we offer challenges, then what will students do? They will embrace challenges. They will know that challenges grow their brain, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so the last way to build that growth mindset is to ask the right questions. So I love this comment. The little boy says, well, if you want a better answer, ask a better question. And that goes along with STEM. I feel like if we want our students to have that growth mindset, then we have to ask the growth mindset types of questions. So what are those questions that will get us to that growth mindset? Here's some examples, and here's what I'd love for you to do. I'd like you to take a moment, read the examples, and can you add some examples of questions you might ask an early learner when they're working on a STEM project in order to support that growth mindset? Let's see what you have to say in the chat box. Thank you, Cecilia. I know, right? Our internet today is not cooperating. Cecilia's in Denton. I wasn't able to do a Teams meeting this morning because it wasn't working. Oh, thank you for the support, Cecilia. And if any of the Hand in Mind folks know how to present with not having to start from the beginning, I would love to. Normally I could just go to present from current slide, but I'm not seeing that. But if you know a way, please tell me so we don't have to see it this way.
You're doing great, Tosha.
Thank you, Melissa.
Next time you'll just come to my house and do it from here.
No, seriously though, I can't tell you the last time we didn't have a technology problem. Like, I'm like, why today? The one day Tosha has 150 people. Awesome. Oh, thank you, Maria.
Did your product meet or exceed your expectations? Why or why not?
What could be done differently? How do you feel about what you built? Nice. What did you learn that will help you the next time do better? Good job. What was a challenge you faced? Yes. Great questions. What can you do to add to your structure? Good job. So asking the right questions gets those students to that growth mindset that we want. And the number one thing I love about Hand in Mind is that they're always thinking about, how do we make this efficient for teachers? If this is what teachers need and this is what's best for students, what products can we create to make this easy for teachers? And so with their STEM bins comes these question cards for the teacher or for the students. I love that if the students are readers, that these can be with the STEM bins, and you ask the students, can you make it taller? Can you make it useful? Can you make it hold more weight? Great questions. What different materials could you use next time? Good job, Cindy. Did you meet your expectations? Y'all thought of some great questions. Thank you for that. Okay, so this is a friend that you can see use base 10 blocks, a great tinker toy, and trust me, I'm former math coordinator. I know that in every school, you're going to have more than enough base 10 blocks, pattern blocks, Cuisinart rods. All of those are tinker toys that can be used, dominoes too, that can be used during your STEM time. So if you were looking at this student and they built this tall tower, some of those questions that you just asked could be what I would use with the student to promote that growth mindset. Did you meet your expectations? What different tools could you use the next time? What was a challenge you faced when you were building this tower? So the questions that you thought of are some questions that could be used for that student to take them to the next level. And then how does that connect to the growth mindset? Then students know that they can learn and grow. That word grow is important, because that's really all about the growth mindset, that really and truly our dendrites in our brain grow when we make a mistake and learn from it. I hope that even with the technology glitches, that being able to hear 5 ways to build a growth mindset with STEM was helpful for you. I'd love for you to take a minute and kind of reflect on your own role. In the chat box, can you tell me what's your next step for building a growth mindset with STEM? As an instructional leader or a teacher, specialist. This was great, thank you. What's your next step or your goal for building that growth mindset? Was there something that you heard today that you would like to try? Be more intentional about my questioning. Thank you.
Hi, Adriana raised her hand and I just unmuted her. I think she wanted to say something.
Okay.
I unmuted you, Adriana, if you want to talk.
Thinking more about questioning, intentional question, give time for structure and unstructured tinkering, using a variety of materials with endless possibilities. Is it okay to go to the next slide? If she wants to talk,
Yes,
Adriana?
I think so. I think
The
so.
importance of tinkering, integrate the STEM journal, explore first, then structured. Love that. Thank you. So I hope that you're walking away going, okay, Tosha, if you don't already know this, if you didn't log in already knowing this, you're hopefully leaving knowing that STEM is so important for growing that and building that growth mindset that we want for our learners, no matter what career path they choose. Those soft skills and that growth mindset will help them to be future ready for any career. So here's some times when you can fit in STEM. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you is I just love this quote. Children need to be taught how to think, not what to think. So STEM is all about that. It's all about the thinking, the growth mindset. It's a process. It doesn't matter what the finished product is. It's teaching them to be problem solvers and problem finders. And this is my favorite slide because this is my son, Oliver, about 2 years ago at home. He was tinkering with straws and connectors, and he decided that our little dog Gemma needed a new doghouse. How cute is that? And so he was a problem finder. He said, you know what? She needs a new doghouse, and he got at it. And it's one of my favorite pictures. I know for my own son, that's what gets him in the door every morning is he gets to do tinker bins as a soft start to his day. And I have definitely seen the growth mindset in him improve through being exposed to STEM in his own classroom. I'm here for you, and feel free to use the chat box to put any questions. Thank you very much for your time today and your extra patience with the internet being crazy. I'm excited. Melissa's going to invite me to her house the next time. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing any questions you have in the chat box.
All right. Thank you, Tosha. That was great. My name is Katie Lapp. I am your educational sales consultant for Indiana and for Central and Southern Illinois. So we are going to take a quick 3-minute break. This is the last break of the day before our final presentation. So 3 minutes, and then we'll do another raffle for some door prizes.